So let's go over there. Let's check it out. Purdue faces Houston, the number one seed, Houston Cougars. The Houston Cougars were the team that I chose to win my bracket. So that gives you any indication of what I think could happen here. But I will say this is a game that Purdue has an avenue or two to be able to win this game. Now, the avenue here is probably pretty slim, but there is an avenue to win this game, and especially when you have players as good as Braden Smith, TKR, and Fletcher Lawyer, you never know what could happen. And plus, it's essentially a home game for Purdue, so we've seen Mackey be pretty spectacular this year. Can the Mackey energy make its way on over to Indianapolis? We'll have to see. Purdue has gotten pretty hot at home in some games this year, and I think that's probably what Purdue is going to have to do in this one in order to beat Houston. Purdue in the game against Alabama got hot shooting. In the game against Maryland at Mackey got hot shooting. Against Rutgers, that wasn't really supposed to be so close of a game there in the first half, but once they got hot and at the end of the first half and in the second half, that one was all but said and done. I think that's what you're hoping here for if you are a Purdue fan. Let's look at some of these stats, okay? 10 stats to look at in the Purdue versus Houston game. The first two are strength on strength, right? Houston's three-point percentage is the best in the nation. Their shooting percentage, three-point percentage is the best in the nation at 39.8%. Purdue's not far behind. It is top 10. It is the ninth best in the nation at 38.5%. So we could find ourselves in a three-point shooting battle here. However, both of these teams they do not have the highest volume of three-point shooting. While they do make a lot of three-pointers, they are both averaging about 20 three-pointers a game when you look at the two of them. So this is not a game where you're going to be seeing a barrage of 15, 16 three-pointers most likely. Could happen, maybe. We're going to look at some stats here in a second, but it could happen, but I'm not going to bet on seeing that many from each team. The weakness versus weakness matchup here is Houston. They shoot 48.8% from two-point range. That is bad. 271st in the nation, 48.8% from two-point range. And Purdue, they allow 56.2% from two-point range. That is 341st in the nation. So what's going to give in there? What is going to, be better in that area? Is it going to be Houston? Be better against Purdue's, not as good rim protecting defense, or is Purdue going to step up down low in the front court and play some better defense, whether that's on dribble drives, whether that's backing guys down, whatever that is, are they going to be able to do that? That's another key factor here. The other key factor, and this one is this is one everybody knows because you have KenPom, you know it, the efficient offenses in this game. Houston's offensive rating is 10th in KenPom. Purdue's offensive rating is 7th in KenPom. So when you look at these two together, you see both top 10 KenPom efficiency. Purdue with the slight edge, but we're going to look at some stats here, and I'll give you even a bonus 11th stat in this one for why I think Houston has the winning formula in this game and why Purdue's 7th KenPom rated offense is probably not going to actually pan out in this one because Houston just has too good of a defense. Houston defends the two-point shot. The teams shoot a percentage of 44.3% against them. That is the two-point shot. So you're looking at guys like Trakoff and Wren at the basket. You're looking at guys like Braden Smith driving to the basket. You're looking at some of the role players and stuff like that. Maybe Fletcher Lawyer coming off a catch and shoot in the inbound situation if he's inside the arc, right? You're looking at those situations. Purdue, while it's not bad, it is top 50. It's not close enough to top 5 like Houston's is. Purdue shoots 2-point percentage of 55.1%. We've seen this happen a couple times this season where Trakoff and Wren gets good position. It seems like a shot he could make, but he is not able to finish at times. It happened late in the season a good amount. It's possible we see that in this game. It's also possible that the guys are just better rested and they don't feel the fatigue that maybe they were feeling at the end of the season, especially in the Big Ten tournament. So maybe it gets better in that situation. We'll have to see, but the numbers do heavily favor Houston in this area. The other area that the numbers favor Houston is points in the paint. Houston allow 22.2 points in the paint per game. That is good for third best in the country. Top three, third best in the country. Well, when it comes to scoring points in the paint, Purdue does not even rank in the top 150, as their points in the paint per game is 32.1%, which is 152nd in the nation. The problem here, even if Purdue doesn't do so well scoring down low because Houston's defense is doing a good job, the problem here is Houston's defense also good, maybe not very good, but good at defending against the three-point line. Teams are shooting a three-point percentage of 30.6% against them. That is top 25. In fact, it is actually exactly 25th in the nation for their three-point shooting percentage. So you look at the situation here. This is not exactly a favorable matchup for Purdue here. This is a game where TKR is going to have to play absolutely out of his mind if he's going to want to score down low. This is a game where you need Fletcher Lawyer to go for, something crazy like 7 or 8 three-pointers possibly in this one. This is one where you're going to need Braden Smith to turn into that alpha, turn into that dog that we know he can be. He's not been it as much lately. You wonder if maybe that's due to some fatigue and stuff, but the role players have been doing a better job shooting, doing a better job getting involved offensively. But this Houston defense is nowhere close to what the defense. This Houston defense is just completely out of the atmosphere of what McNeese and High Point were. McNeese and High Point, respectable teams. I'm not trying to say anything against them. McNeese earned that win over Clemson. High Point earned their spot in the NCAA tournament. Not saying anything against those teams. I'm just saying those teams' defense is not Houston. Houston's defense is one of the best in the nation. I believe KenPom has it number one. I should have double checked that. I apologize. But I believe theirs is number one on KenPom, and that's really saying something. It's going to take an incredible effort from Purdue in this one, not just by a single player. It's going to take an incredible effort shooting the three, and even if they do shoot the three ball very well, Houston has the ability to also shoot the three ball very well, too. They actually have the better three-point shooting percentage on the year by, granted, like a 1.4 percentage point, but still it is the better three-point percentage on the year. And so if you get into a shootout, I think Houston's probably going to be able to stick with you enough, and that's going to spell trouble for Purdue if that's their only way they can win the game. Don't think it's their only way, but if it turns out to be their only way, that's going to spell trouble. I think Houston probably wins this game, but if Purdue does win, you're going to get a legacy game from a Braden Smith. You're going to get a legacy game from a TKR. You're going to get a really, really special game that's going to be celebrated for years to come for Purdue fans.